What's going on, guys? It's Nick from Lively Outdoors. I have got a little jewel for you guys today. HK CC9. I have been waiting and waiting to get one of these. Went out and shot it day before yesterday. Put 550 rounds to it. 500 rounds of full metal jacket. I thought I would run the whole 500, but then whenever I got back to the bench, I had one little measly round of full metal jacket in the bottom of the Ziploc bag. So I got it out and shot it at 75 yards. If you watched that video, you've seen that. I shot 50 rounds of 124 grain Federal HST plus P. This is my carry load, has been for years. I know it, I love it, I trust it. That's what I go to. There's a lot of good rounds out there. That's just my choice. This is an awesome pistol. I will say that. I haven't looked at the box much because I basically just yanked it right out and went to town with it. But it's got a bunch of crap on the back of it. I normally don't do unboxings, but I think this pistol deserves an unboxing. So I put all the crap back in it, and this is how you would actually get it, despite the loaded mag. Other than that, little cover for the box. And when you open it up, you get this little saying, in a roll of compromise, some don't. Very good saying. HK's always no compromise. They don't slack on anything. They're just excellent. You get the bag and an HK decal. You gotta have your HK decals. The box is just a cardboard box. Then, like I say, you got the sleeve, but you get this nice little bag. And I've read where a lot of people griped because they did not get a hard case. Me personally, I would rather have a soft bag because you can cram a lot of these in a small area compared to a hard case. Like for instance, I carry a Shadow Systems backpack to the range. That's my range bag, and I can, cram 6 Nighthawk soft cases in that, or Wilson Combat soft cases. And I'm glad a lot of companies are going to the soft cases like this because it just makes sense. I don't want to have to carry a hard box out there in a backpack, pull it out, then have to get the little latches right on these. You just got this nice little zippers. Open it up. You got your owner's manual. Tells you every little thing about how to do everything to the pistol. You get an extra back strap, which this is actually the back strap that comes on the pistol. Right here, I took it off and put the large back strap that it comes with on there. You get this little annoying lock that, you can use to lock a gate or throw in the trash. Little divider right here. And makes it kind of nice. You get a couple extra mag pouches right here if you want to take this crap out of here and leave it out. Just throw it back in your box. It's velcroed in, so if you don't want it in there, I didn't really notice that before, but you can actually take the divider out if you don't want the divider in. You got comes with a 12 round mag, and then a 10 round mag, and the pistol 10 round mag fits flush just like that. And the 12 round mag is actually, this is a loaded mag, but y'all have to deal with it, as that's just me. You got a little finger swoop right there, and gun is unloaded now. And I actually was able to pick up another 12 round mag, so it made the shooting a little bit easier having one extra mag. Well, probably end up picking quite a few more up. I didn't want to begin with because I didn't know how it was going to perform. Being HK, I figured it'd be good, but you never know. I didn't know if I'd like it, didn't know if I'd like the grip, the trigger, anything like that. With all that being said, I absolutely love this gun. Like I said, I put the larger back strap on here, and it's completely flush in true HK fashion. You've got a back strap that comes right around through here and goes down all the way to the bottom. You still got your kind of P30-ish style grip on the back, and it just fits your hand perfect. In my other video, if you watched it, you notice I said it's actually like a man's micro 9mm. And what I mean by that is normally men have larger hands than women. And it seems like when the micro 9s came out, they're kind of starting to tailor them towards more women. You know, the grips are small. You can take the grip, and if you squeezed it, you can see it flex a whole lot. If you own a 365, or if you've held one, or like a FN Reflex, you can squeeze it and you can feel that flex. This you can't. There is zero flex. I mean, I can squeeze that as hard as I can, and there's no flex in that. I absolutely love that. I don't want to have any flex, especially being polymer. I don't want any flex in it. I will probably carry with a 12-round mag because it fits your hand absolutely. It fits my hand absolutely excellent. My pinky rests right there. It snugs up to a nice little undercut on the trigger guard. I'm sure you can see how it's undercut under swoop. And it just, I mean, it just fits so good and tight right there that it tracks really quick with the way you can get such a high purchase on the firearm. And whenever I first saw it, I thought, man, that's got a high bore axis, but it doesn't actually have a high bore axis. It's just the slide's actually tall, but your grip is fairly low bore axis. So that's excellent in my opinion. Everything is ambidextrous. You've got ambidextrous mag release right here, which is kind of, I guess you could say it's not what everybody was wanting. They were wanting the paddle style mag release, and I wanted that myself because I love HKs. I love the way their original style was, like the Mark 23s, the USPs, you know, all that. But with a pistol this size, I would rather have this. Now, there's going to be a bunch of HK lovers out there that say, no, that's not the way to go. But hear me out. Okay, you've got a high undercut under the slide, right, or under the trigger guard. If you go to release a paddle right there, it's not going to be as easy as releasing this mag. If you've got, I always release on the paddles, I always release with my trigger finger. I'd swoop down and hit it. The problem with it is, if you hit it, your knuckle on your middle finger, the pistol's so small, I mean, that's what it's made to be, as small as a micro pistol. So it's easy to carry. Would not actually, I don't think it would allow you to actually be able to push that spring down enough to get the mag out. To where on this one, you can pop it out. Being ambidextrous, you can pop it out with your finger either way. I absolutely love it. I love the way it's set up. At first I thought, crap, they made the normal American mag release, which, don't get me wrong, I love America. But the whole German, you know, HK thing is you have the paddle mag release. And whenever I held it, I thought, okay, well, they thought that out because that probably didn't work. They probably thought about putting it in to begin with, but then they realized that everybody's going to be hitting their knuckle right there and the mag release will not go down. The trigger, in my opinion, is phenomenal for a carry gun. I mean, it's absolutely excellent. You've got your dingus, and you've got take up from right here to there. There's your wall, and there's your brake. And I actually have not weighed this, but I'm gonna guess it's around a 5-pound trigger. It feels like it weighs about 5 to 6 pounds. I love it. It's just kind of like a rolling, a slight rolling brake, and then you come to a wall. And it's good. I absolutely love it. There's not one thing I can complain about the trigger. The sights, you've got a blacked out rear sight, and it's a square notch blacked out rear. I love the square notches. I'm old school. I know some people love the U notch. Some people don't even use the sights. They just stick a red dot on there. I love iron sights for carry guns. That's just me. I don't want to have to rely on electronics, And like I say, I am old school. I've shot enough with iron sights. Whenever I go to electronics, I can shoot more accurately, especially at longer distances, consistently. But I don't want electronics to be my downfall and die because I'm relying on it. And there's a lot of good optics out there, and I know they always work, but it's just a mind screw thing for me. And then you got a high-vis front sight with a high-vis front night sight, and it's got like a green ring, and then you've got your tritium dot or diode in the middle. Optics cut, RMSC pattern. Like I said, I put the larger back strap on there, and it feels absolutely perfect. You've got a small rail. I normally don't carry lights on pistols this small. If I want to carry a pistol this small, then I want it to be sleek, smooth, lightweight. That's why I bought it. I don't want to cram a bunch of extra crap on here and it ended up getting heavier, bulkier, and all that shit. So it is what it is. This does have a removable FCU, and so I actually think that they might come out with different things that you can throw this FCU in. Let's see, what else? Let's get some weights. We got, the holster. Went with a Tulster holster. I've actually started carrying Tulster holsters. That's Tulster. Yep. And the only ones I've carried so far are the Profile Plus. And the reason being is I like the cant, because I always carried FBI cant, and I love these metal clips. The dual clips like this with that, I don't know if you can see that right there, but with a little tongue or the tit or whatever you want to call it coming up that attaches to the bottom, it will not come off your belt during draw. These things are made excellent. They're made in Oklahoma. I can't remember the town, but I'm going to start using Tulster as my main holsters for my carry pistols. And I've actually toyed around with getting an outside the waistband holster for this pistol from Tulster, but they don't have a cant from what I can tell. I haven't gotten on their actual website. I just looked on Amazon, and none of them had a cant. You might be able to have that as a feature if you go on their website, but I cannot speak highly enough about Tulster. They make everything in Oklahoma. All the edges are rounded. Everything's smoothed out. Very, very good retention. This one's optics cut, just in case, and that was the only way it came because I ordered it off Amazon, like I said. But I mean, there is zero movement at all in that holster. You got a nice sweat guard on this side. It is cut low enough to where your optic is not going to be involved in reholstering or unholstering, and it's open on the end for if you have threaded barrels or whatever, which if some of you've seen lately, the chance to get a suppressor without having to be involved in the whole NFA thing might be a possibility in the future. Pass the House, now it's just got to pass the Senate and have the president sign off on it. That would be awesome, because I don't like waiting a year. Let's get some measurements here, or weights. This might be a little bit of a long video, but it is what it is, and this is an excellent gun. I've waited too long not to do a sit-down review on it, and this is where we're at. Don't know why, but just in case you want an unloaded review, an unloaded weight, with a 12-round mag and the large backstrap. The large backstrap may or may not add a little bit of weight, like maybe 1/10 of an ounce. I don't know, it's plastic. Unloaded, 1 pound, 4.6 ounces with a 12-round mag. So you're looking at 20.6 ounces there. 10-round mag, same weight. Loaded, this is the actual important part, with one in the chamber. 1 pound, 9.8 ounces. So you got 25.8 ounces. Well, 1 pound, yeah, it's toggling between 1 pound, 9.7 and 9.8 ounces. And I was locked in at 1 pound, 9.7 ounces. So you've got 25 ounces, 25.7 ounces loaded. If you throw it into a holster with it loaded, you are looking at 1 pound, 12.3 ounces. So that's pretty daggum good. That's loaded in a holster with metal clips. That's pretty good. Everything about this gun I love. It shot perfect. It did take me a little bit to get used to the trigger at first because it does break a little further out than normal, and I love that feature. It actually, you know, it breaks about right there, which is excellent to me. And your over trail stop right there. So it took me a little bit of getting used to on that. Whenever I put the larger bag strap on, oh, it's so nice. It is so nice, guys. You've got to try one of these out. If you've watched any of my videos, I've been on a concealed carry micro rampage, I guess you could say, trying to figure out the best ones. And I mean, I've tried everything from the FN Reflex, FN Reflex XL, the CSX, CSXE series, SIG 365, SIG 365 XL, SIG 365 Macro, 365X, you name it, you know, the Macro TAC Ops. The list goes on, you know, Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, Smith & Wesson Shield. Back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was, the Springfield XDSs, you know, the XDS 45 came out, loved it. This right here, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. A lot of people may say I'm wrong, don't care really, because it's my opinion, it's my gun. I think this is the best for me. You got 12 rounds, you got 13 rounds with one in the chamber. That, for what I need to carry, is plenty of rounds. If I want to, I can carry a spare mag in the pocket, you know, whatever. Yeah, it'd be great to have 100 rounds in this mag, but do you really need it? I mean, yeah, you want it. I want the possibility of getting to have it, of course, absolutely. It's America. But do you know, whenever it boils down to it in a gun this size, I think HK did it right by not adding, okay, you get an extended 15 round mag. Okay, you get an extended 18 round mag, because it takes away from exactly what this gun is supposed to be. If you want that kind of gun, you know, HK just came out with the new VP9s. I can't remember what they're called. And it's about Glock 19 size. It's going to have a larger round count than this. It's not going to be as thin. It's not going to be as, you know, short or in length or anything like that. But, you know, there's an option, you know. The length of this is exactly 6 inches. Height at the tallest point on the sights is 4 3/4. You got width, and exactly sure how I get the width. It's a hair under 1 inch. So those are real world dimensions right there, not some crap you'll read off the internet or some jack off that actually, you know, just got sent this. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That just got sent this gun for free and is like, yeah, this is great. I want HK to start sending me a bunch of free stuff, so I'm gonna say this is the greatest gun in the world, or I'm gonna say it's junk because this other place that I get guns doesn't want me reviewing it good. And you know, this is honest. I buy this gun. I buy every single gun. I buy all my ammo. I buy all my rods, all my reels, all my targets. You name it. If it's on my channel, I purchased it myself. It's not given to me, except for the holster pad that was sent from Better. They did want me to do a review on that, and y'all saw how that turned out. I thought it was junk for the price. I mean, it could be good and need improvements, but it didn't get them. So it is what it is. I want to put out real information, you know, my real thoughts, and I'm not doing YouTube to get free crap. I'm doing YouTube because over the years in the past, I've seen bought and paid for people talking about firearms, holsters, different things, rods, reels. And I've taken it to heart and thought, okay, this is going to be good, and it's junk. And then you realize, a year or two later, this is back, earlier days of YouTube, you realize, okay, they got sent that for free. So I don't want to be that guy. Y'all can always trust me. I'm sometimes too upfront and too real, but that's how it goes down. So I've got 550 rounds, 50 rounds of 124 grain Federal HSD plus P. That's my 9mm carry load, like I said, and 500 rounds of various Full Metal Jackets. Every single thing ran flawless, 100%. I was kind of curious if some of the lower power Winchester white box, like the 115s, I shot some 115s, 124s, and I shot some 147s and different varieties of ammo, Fiocchi, Magtech, Winchester, Remington, in the 500 rounds, just to make sure everything of every grain weight did run. I was curious to see if anything low like that was going to run, because whenever I first purchased this, it was very hard to rack back compared to other pistols. It wasn't hard, but I mean, compared to other pistols, it was very hard to rack back. I have not cleaned this since I shot it, as you can tell. So the first night that I got it on Friday night, shot it Saturday. First night I got it, racked it back like this, like I do most of my pistols that I get. It kind of tends to break your spring in a little bit. I had zero issues. The mags were a pain in the ass to load. I could only get 9 rounds at first in the 12 round, or in the 10 round, and I could only get 10 rounds in the 12 round. And so I left 10 rounds loaded and crammed. One of them I was able to get 11. The other one I was able to get 10. Left them there overnight, left them there until I got out to the range, just ran them 100%. Now they're a lot easier to load. One I'm still having a little issue with. I can only get 11 rounds in. It's not that big of a deal. It'll loosen up. The trigger and the slickness of this firearm was great to begin with, but I will say after about 300 rounds, I started shooting it just a little bit slower. I shot about 20 rounds, I guess, just to see if I could tell a difference in it. And the trigger got better. You could tell that the slide was a little bit better on cycling, just hand cycling. Whenever I'd shoot, and then I'd just rack one like it jammed and then shoot. And everything just kind of, it really reminded me of like a Les Baer. If you've ever bought a Les Baer pistol, you buy it and you spend that kind of money, $3,000-$4,000, and you're like, heck yeah, man, you get out there and it jams. Well, you've got to break it in. And Les Baer's is almost, unless you get the 1.5 inch guarantee. I have had one of those that I had to push to about 800 rounds, and then it was flawless. But just the standard Les Baer's, at almost exactly 500 rounds, it's like someone just flips a switch and it just, everything lines out. Well, that's kind of the way this was at 300 rounds, except this never had any problems jamming. It just, the trigger got smoother, and the slide seemed to actually not be near as stiff because that spring was getting broke in. Takedown is your takedown lever here. I'm not going to take it down on YouTube because I will get knocked for that. But I will show you on this real quick. This is your guide rod and recoil spring setup. Not normal for HKs. A lot of HKs have your nylon buffer that kind of dampens your recoil. This is evidently something new they're going with because it's a micro pistol. They may not have had room to put a nylon dampener down there. It does help in their normal pistols. That's why they're so smooth, and that's why they're, I'm trying to get this off camera. I'm hoping I'm not picking it up. But it does help some. The recoil on this, to me, and this is just me, is not snappy at all for the size that it is and the weight that it is. It's less than the 365. It's less than the Glock 43. It's probably a touch more than the 43X. I don't know. Muzzle rise is less than either one of those. It's less than the FNX Reflex. The Hellcat is definitely less snappy than the Hellcat. The Hellcat Pro, it's not the, when you get into like the Sig Macro, is it as snappy as a Sig Macro? No, it's not, but Sig Macro is a whole different gun. You got a longer grip, it's more spread out, it's thicker. It's gonna feel different to you. To me, they all feel kind of the same, but I was trying to judge it yesterday off if I was a new shooter trying to feel how it felt, and to me, that's my analysis on the whole thing. All around, if you're thinking about getting one, put your hands on one, and trust me, you'll love it. Don't go by what everybody's saying. It looks like a Taurus. It looks like a Taurus. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I first saw it on, I believe it was Mr. Guns and Gear, was the first one that I saw whenever they released it. Whenever he released his video that morning, I think it was the first one. I thought, holy crap, it's an HK Taurus. But the more I started looking at them, I thought, nah, it looks a little different. And then whenever I got it in my hands, I told him I wanted, Chaffee, whenever they told me they had one coming, he said, do you still want it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll take it as soon as it comes in. And whenever I got it in my hands, I thought, oh my gosh, they did this thing right. And the stippling, the checkering, it does not look like a Taurus once you actually see it in real life. On YouTube, for some reason, yeah, it kind of does. But the polymer is actually thick. They did this, everything on here they did right. I mean, they overbuilt, but didn't. It's weird. It's hard to explain. You can tell everything is overbuilt like HK normally is, but yet it's not. I mean, it's still small, but I guarantee you this thing would outlast pretty much any other Micro 9. That's just my opinion. I think it would. They ran like 750,000 rounds, I think, testing them out before they released them. And to me, this is the best Micro 9 out there. I don't know, I just love it. It feels perfect in my hands. It carries very, very easy. You've got a good enough round count. I love how they smoothed out this right here, and they didn't add too much stippling in the back. They left the hairy stippling like on the P30, but it's not too much. And I carry it like 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. And some pistols, my shirt will hang up right in here if it's too stippled, which I want my gun as stippled as I can possibly get it. The problem is carrying, your shirt hangs up on it, and I'll have to flip my shirt out every once in a while. I really don't care here in Arkansas. Nobody cares if you're carrying or not, but this does make it easier, especially on road trips whenever, the wife and I are going out of state. But how they left it completely smooth right in here, I mean, just these little details makes HK. That's not going to hang up on your shirt. And if you're carrying appendix, it's going to rub off right on this side. There's no stippling right there. So your shirt will just slide right over it like it's not even there. I absolutely love it. They've thought everything out. They've made, that ejects pretty good, by the way. They've made the finger deal on here, even just stippled on the sides and the front, but not too much, so it does actually mate up with everything. You've got the strip and grip right there, where if it gets stuck, you can actually pull it out. So you've got your little indention right there, where you can strip it and grip it, rip it, and throw another one up in. I can't speak highly enough about it. I think I'm just going to end with that. I think it's excellent. I think you need to check one out if you're thinking about checking one out. I don't think you're going to see issues with this pistol like you have with the 365 on rust issues and stuff like that. And night sight's not working. I had that issue. I had rust in my rear sight channel on a 365 macro. And then it was the first macro I got. No, it was the TAC Ops I got, had a dead front sight. I mean, how do you miss that? I don't think you'll find that with HK. That's just my opinion. I don't know. It is what it is. But like I said, like you just saw, I mean, they launch out here. You know, some won't, but I mean, that speed shoots out. But I'm just very glad I finally got one in my hands instead of just looking at them online and kind of judging off that. Because if you have the chance to get one in your hands, do it. Guarantee you, you'll more than likely like it. It's just one of those kind of very thought out micro 9mm. And I'm not saying it's the best on the market, but it's definitely the best of everything that I like about them. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.